Welcome everybody to this week's edition of Strong Perspective Podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Keith Armstrong, along with today.
Your second host, Damon Armstrong. Pleasure to be with you guys today.
The lost and long forgotten family, DJ Johnson. Let's go. Let's get it. I'm here. I'm ready to go. We ain't bringing no bullshit today. We're gonna come get it. So let's go.
All right, well, wait 5 minutes before you start all that cussing, bro. I mean, 'cause I want people to see this. KB,
What's happening?
Introduce yourself, KB.
What's up, man? What's up? Who's that Delvin? That's a pimp from back in the day.
I told y'all. Here we go.
Keith, tell them who you are, brother.
Oh, I'm Keith Barnes, and I'm family.
No doubt. Welcome to you. Welcome, brother. Appreciate you guys. We're waiting on a couple other folks.
Okay.
But in the meantime, in between time, we'll get it rolling. Do us a favor, a little bit of housekeeping. Go to our YouTube channel, like, share, and subscribe. Build our numbers up. You know what I mean? Look, we're 3.5 years into the game, so really and truly, time flies. But it's time for us to benefit from it. So we will benefit from it, especially on the YouTube. You know what I'm saying? Because we go hard on it. We go hard every week on it. And I know folks on my Facebook page and also on TikTok. I know you starving for some clips. They're coming to you soon. But we're here. One moment, please. I gotta. Uncle Spo, introduce yourself.
Cat Daddy.
What's going on, man? How y'all doing? I'm Uncle Spoke. One of your hosts who was told that we were going to start to 7:45.
Oh.
What up, baby bro?
And it's 7:48, sir. Hey, I want everybody to know that Uncle Spoke is the only one who get cranky when he on his hump.
Get cranky when?
When he on the job. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's good though.
See,
that ain't the truth. Hey, folks. So it ain't that situation when you say, man, hey man, why you looking like that? Looking like what? Like I don't want to be F with?
Yeah.
I was gonna tell you when I was in the military, was a guy that the girl he was dating, she would always make comments, and she said, I compliment him. She'd always come out there. I'm his better half. So he said, okay, man said, well, who is he? She said, that's old. I said, he's old. So yeah. I said, well, who is she? He said, as hell.
That's a compliment right there, brother.
Exactly. He said,
nowadays,
whatever I am, she's that other part of
hey, what the old school people tell you all the time in struggle, keep on living.
That's it.
Oh yeah. Before we get into our topic of the day, trying to wait for our last guest to come on. Let's grease the wheels. Let's get those mental joints lubricated. All right. We do real simple. We do this real simple. What has during the course of this week infuriated you, pissed you off, and name 2 things that you enjoyed.
No.
All right. So I'll start. The thing that infuriated me is me understanding that I've always been a forgiving person, right? And I never knew it. I always felt like I held a grudge, but I really didn't. Because you don't hold a grudge if you forgive situations, right? Name the 2 things that happened today. First, I'm going to group it together. The first thing was, everything I set out to do today, I did. Every single day. And the most important thing is, I laughed and I smiled. That's one. I grouped all that together. Second thing, because my birthday is approaching, I've been on this earth for 60 years. And that brought me joy. Who wants to go next, or do I need to pick somebody?
Well, I want to respond to that last statement you made. You're closer to 61 than 60, bro. So go ahead and claim it.
Okay, I'll round it off when I need to round it off.
He's trying to hold on to that 60. That wasn't here. Hell, he didn't want to let it go.
That's
That's a
futile,
good number.
man.
Yeah.
That's a good number right there. But you know, you only 61, so
That's right.
I'm gonna enjoy it. All right,
Look
since
here.
you said something, David, you up? Talk to it. What is it?
Well, number one, in 2 months I'll be 60. So hey, welcome me into the club. Number one, blessed to be here. Number two, man, when you put things in perspective, with all the things happening, being as old as I am, I put things in perspective. Ain't nothing that's happened I didn't expect. You know what I'm saying? I'm not confused about anything. It's just realizing how we as black men and women understand how to adapt and say, okay, you know what? Y'all didn't catch me by surprise. We know this was happening. So I feel blessed, man. I feel blessed because number one, I'm still in the fight in my right mind, and I know the terrain, bro.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? I know the terrain. So
that's a positive. So what infuriated you?
What infuriated me, man, is that some people walking this earth think we stupid and don't have comprehension. You know what I'm saying? And that's insulting as hell.
That's
you
deep.
know.
Okay. Chief.
All right. Yeah. The infuriating part. What? Here he is. Okay. Imagine this. This actually happened. But imagine this. You got a sibling, but you have different fathers.
Okay.
No, you have the same father. You have different mothers. And this one sibling was talking to the other sibling and said, he was asking why you didn't go to the funeral. Because the dad had passed away.
Uh-huh.
And he said, well, to be honest with you, I did it kind of out of a protest because of the way I was conceived. He said I was conceived out of rape.
Wow.
And then the other sibling said, well, yeah, I can understand that, but it's two sides there. It's always two sides to every story. And what infuriated me was I said, that was the most selfish crap you could ever say. He just told you that his mom was raped by this dude. So
Yeah.
his protest he got along. He had a relationship with his dad for a while, but that was his protest,
Mm.
just not to go to the funeral. And then you say something like that. It's two sides of the other story. So you calling his mom a lie. And I was sitting there, I was like, it really, it like you said, it bothered me
Oh yeah.
how insensitive people are and how what's the other thing? Entitled. It's a entitlement and selfishness is on a whole new another level now. It's comical. On the positive side, I'm kind of like you, man. I had to keep reminding myself all this week that you can only be great today. Can't do anything about yesterday. Tomorrow's not promised to you. You can only be great today. Whatever you're gonna do, you can only do it today. So don't be definitely worrying about past stuff you couldn't do, and don't jump the gun on the future. Uh, but everything else has been pretty smooth, man. You hadn't had anything really, nothing to jump up and turn cartwheels about, but not in the dumps either.
Sounds good, bro.
Yeah, absolutely. I guess I'll go next, if you don't mind, DJ.
Go ahead, man.
Well, the thing that infuriates. Well, let me start off by saying I truly believe that unsolicited advice and a punch in the face is the same thing. Okay, and what I mean by that is I was involved in a conversation, and a person took it upon themselves to come in and interject some things that I had already said, some, you know, and to reiterate some points that I'd already made. You know, they call themselves doubling down, but you know, they, as I said, they weren't a part of the conversation. So, you know, Cuzzo, what's going on?
What's
Going
happening,
on?
brother?
Welcome.
Hey,
Welcome,
how's it
brother.
What's
going?
going on, gentlemen? What's going on?
What up,
Introduce.
brother?
Hey, look, you come in. You got to catch up. You 2 drinks behind. So introduce yourself to everybody.
That's that Chicago weather.
Hey, no, man. Hey, that amongst other duties. What's up, fellas? It's Stacey Chance. It's a pleasure to join the podcast.
All right.
welcome, man. Welcome.
What up, Cuzzo?
What's going on, fam?
Stacy, Jaquan, go ahead and finish. But let me just say this: what we're talking about is name one thing that infuriated you today, not pertaining to the subject, and 2 things that you were overjoyed about. So
Okay.
after, so Jaquan is going to go, and then DJ is going to go, and then
Okay.
it's you.
All right.
Go ahead, Jaquan.
Yeah, as I was saying, this person felt it necessary to come in and double down on some points that I'd already made, you know. And okay, yeah, I get it, but there was an arrogance there. It was an arrogance there because it was just, I guess this person just automatically assumed that, you know, the subject we were talking about, I didn't have any knowledge of. You know, I'm like, okay, yeah, I get that all the time. You know, and it's a small, it's a small situation, but it you know, it ruffled my feathers. You know, so that's the thing that made me angry. And ironically enough, the 2 things that I take pleasure in is the fact that I got 2 feet I had 2 feet to walk away and an office to go into. So that way I could just totally divorce myself from the situation and whatever answer, you know, these people were looking for, I let it be a mystery.
Got it. I got it. DJ.
Here we go. So mine's in sweet and short. So y'all don't know, my daughter moved here from Miami with my grandbabies, my 2 grandsons, which I'm just overjoyed So what I'm happy about today is I got a chance to go with him. He wanted me to come to his first grade class and have lunch with the class. So I'm sitting in this little bitty ass seat about that damn big. My ass is ain't fit that motherfucker. I'm sitting there with all these first graders. They're looking at me like I'm the New Year Grinch or whatever. But it's cool. So that was pretty cool because that's been a long time. The second thing is I did realize that I have more days behind me than I have ahead of me. And unselfishly, I realized I love life more today than I did yesterday. And the last thing that I hate, and I'm gonna say I hate, because I do not have a fucking president. My last president left in 2016. I don't care how anybody feels. Well, I refer to the person in there now as the occupier. And what happened was the occupier, along with those, took away my damn Medicaid.
Whoa!
So wait a minute, here's living proof that it happens. And we'll talk about it on the personal level, but I did nothing to nobody, no crime, no nothing. But because I'm 65 years old and I have a car and a truck and a house, they felt that I had too much. So they took away my Medicaid, the occupier, and it pissed me the hell off. So I'm not in a good mood, but okay, let's go. Next man up.
Stacy, I'm sorry to hear that, brother. For real.
Yeah, me too, man. That's real life stuff happening.
No, I mean, life is life, and for real. I think the first thing that comes to mind when you talk about something that really disturbed me today, one of my technicians was picked up by ICE.
Whoa.
Wow.
And so he is a hell of a camera installer, had 2 trucks, just was a heck of a guy. No warrants, none of that kind of stuff. But so I reached out to a gentleman that he introduced me to, another Hispanic gentleman. I was like, hey man, have you heard from Victor? And I said, man, I think he's been picked up. I haven't been able to reach him all week. Phone going straight to voicemail. And his reply was, it is what it is, man. I don't have no horse in the game, and I'm just concerned about this and that. I said, well, I get that if you want to look at it that way. I said, but he has a family, he has 2 small children, a wife. I said, now he gone. And he said, well, man, I'm an atheist. I'm this, I'm that. I'm just focused on this, man. Everybody looking at Trump. I said, man, you have a good day. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I said, you have a good day, because this conversation ain't going to end well. So I just had to move on. But that was that was the thing that went left for me. Something that I'm pleased with is the fact that I just celebrated my first year of marriage. And so that was 1 year on the 22nd. So that's an absolute blessing.
Congratulations, girl.
For an old head like me to go ahead and settle down and make it do what it do, while I still can do what it do. You hear what I say? While I can still do what it do. You know what I'm saying? When everything ain't broke down. So that's it for me, fellas.
How long you been married, Stacey? You said you just got married?
I got married last year. My anniversary is on the 22nd of this month.
That's congratulations, brother. Right.
Thank you, King.
So you're still at the point, brother, where you don't have to, some of us, we get there where we like that old car. You start to push that damn thing. Once you get to the hill, it's still gonna get up to like 70 miles an hour, but you gotta get to the damn hill.
Yeah. He telling on himself now. Listen to him. He telling on himself.
Hey, I don't need no jumper cables right now, okay?
Yeah. That's why. Look, people ask me, well, why you go to the gym 3 days a week? Because
absolutely, yes, sir.
Because,
yes,
but,
sir.
Damon called me. When was it? That was last weekend, wasn't it, Damon?
I believe it was last weekend. I texted Stacy, and then I called you. I told Stacy my idea, texted my idea, and then I called you, and both you guys agreed that it's a good subject matter to talk about. So
okay. So
here we are a week later.
So what I did was I went and studied. So I think I found a couple of things that, you know, because see what I know where I land on this. You feel what I'm saying? But to be fair, what I'm going to do is try to be even-handed because I'm the moderator. But that doesn't mean you guys can't express how you feel. I just wanted to put that out there. You get what I'm saying? Because
Okay.
one of us got to keep the flow going, and I'll be the one. Before we go, because it was your concept, Damon, just tell us a little bit about why. Because you'll get your chance. You'll get the chance to really go in depth. But just give us a little bit about. Tell us what it is, and then tell us a little bit about it.
What my concern was, man, you know, during the times that we're living in today, man, as black men, I was thinking about, okay, these threats imminent. Are they really happening to us? I mean, we can speculate all day long because I, for one, living out where I live, I haven't really experienced it. I've just been hearing it and seeing the things that's happening. And what I wanted to do was get somebody's perspective from who's being threatened in this situation, because I deem it as a threat in terms of National Guards being deployed and all that stuff. And I'm like, I have my ideas and my feelings about it, and you know, and my speculation of the reasons behind it. But what I wanted to do was get some brothers who's in that line of fire opinion, you know what I'm saying, and how they're, you know, what's being talked about and how are they preparing themselves for it. You know what I'm saying? And I just wanted to get it from the horse's mouth, hear it, so that I can draw some conclusions about it and be also supportive, you know, in that aspect.
So I'm saying, you saying how we feel about, or actually what's going on with the National Guard, the military, and all that?
Well, you in the South right now. I know you from there, but you in the South right now. You know what I'm saying? So I know. So my question to you, DJ, is understanding that might be a possibility that they might be deployed. How do you feel about family members in that situation? You know what I'm saying? What mindset do you have?
So can I go?
And in anticipation.
So if I can go, I'm good. So this is what I say. It's a necessary thing. It really is. Being that the what's going on in our streets and in our urban areas. That's all, that's cool. But understand this, and I'm not a professional on this. The National Guard is citizen soldiers. They are not trained to go in like the military and start, you know, boogalooing people and beating people. Most National Guards don't even carry guns. They're there for hurricanes and tornadoes and famines and floods and all that kind of stuff. That's their job. So for the occupier, AKA you know who, to take these people and say, go for it. They don't know, because they have half of them, like this crew that came from West Virginia. They ain't been to Washington, D.C. or Detroit or Chicago or Memphis. They don't know. They don't even know how to deal with those people. So if you got a family, you ride down the street, you're a black man, you got your wife and your 3 babies in the car, and these guys pull up behind you in a Humvee, you're going to be terrified, especially if you've never been in the military. And you got these young jokers jumping out with M16s, not AR-15s, machine guns, grenade launchers. How are you supposed to deal with that? Because they don't know 10 and 2 on the steering wheel. They don't understand that. So you really have to succumb to that, and you're at their vices and hope that everything goes well. Keith, you know this, both of y'all. Law enforcement is trained to stop people and know the law, how to articulate that if you're a drunk driver or you're a criminal. These guys are not that. So yeah, It's a scary thing.
Okay, so before we move on to someone else, let me just set the reason why we have these gentlemen on. First and foremost, as most people know, myself, who watch our podcast, myself, DJ, and Keith, have law enforcement background. We're retired law enforcement officers, right? But the caveat to that is DJ is an ex-Marine gunny sergeant. Chief, Army. Stacy, Army. So that aspect, see, this is why I asked you guys to come on with Stacy, because that aspect, you having military experience and understanding what the president is talking about doing. You know what I'm saying? So what I wanted to do is think about some positive things, and you kind of alluded to it, DJ, some positive things of him doing so, because the reputation of Chicago. Yeah, a positive aspect. Stabilizing the hotspot. So if they were to put a military presence in the hotspot, in the areas, right? And conceptually, it should calm that area down. Makes sense,
Theoretically.
guys? Theoretically, right? But we don't know, because as human beings do what they do. And then it gives you immediate manpower in those areas, because the police, all police departments are undermanned, right? Now, this
Pretty
is what
much.
somebody from the president's office this is what they've been saying. Then they also say it's a deterrent having them in those hot spots. And then the federal government wants to show the American people that they're concerned about the ongoing violence. So I wanted to set that table, let people know the experience in this group and where the opinions are coming from. You know, we pretty much know Damon Jaquari, what their minds are, how they are about things. You know what I'm saying? So I want you guys to, give us what you got. There ain't no pressure. So, Chief,
Okay.
the subject that I just named, the positive aspect to it, can you
Okay.
add to it, or do you think it's unrealistic, or how you feel?
Well, to be, I don't really see a positive. I don't see a positive in it, because the way it's set up. This is what I see. The positive for the government's perspective. They've tried to do what they're saying they want to do, to go into these hot spots and clear things up and calm it down and everything. They've been doing that for the history of the country. We've been going to different countries trying to do that. We did it in Iraq, Vietnam, all these other places we've been to do that. Failed. So now the way the way they perfect everything is to come back home. They always perfect it on us.
Mhm.
They come to our communities. And the thing that's dangerous about it is that with the police, what you can do is just take some of your troops and train them and add them to the departments and work and combine some of it, expand jurisdiction and everything, and let the police and everybody you have established, those agencies, let them do it. But when you bring in the National Guard, they're not under those statutes that we're under.
Absolutely.
They're not under you got to have a warrant. They don't need a warrant. They just need someone from Washington say, go in the house. Find Junebug, go to his grandma's house, kick in the door, go get Junebug, and you can't sue him or anything. So and some people gonna resist. You already going snatching people off the street and deporting them, and some are already citizens here, I've heard. Some been here for years, some were born here. But you grabbing people, and no one, I haven't heard anywhere or read anywhere of what's the boundaries? What are your boundaries? What are their boundaries? How do you know this person is illegal, so-called illegal or whatever? What constitutes that? They keep going back and forth on it. So it's kind of like they say, okay, we're gonna throw this out here and just do it, and while we are arguing over what's right and what's not, what's the limitations to it. And eventually somebody, if it hasn't already happened, somebody's gonna get hurt really bad or worse. Then somebody gonna get mad, throw a brick, throw a bottle. Now we got a whole thing. And the thing that's really mad, and the thing that's really bad about it, I believe, that's the people in the National Guard, which is the reason I wouldn't join the National Guard, is because you're local. So I love y'all. I know all of y'all, but I could easily, if I'm in the National Guard, I could be kicking in the front door of your house, knocking on your front door, telling you not from Michigan. And when you open the front door, you're like, hey, that's Keith. And you open the door, and here I am with the crew. I'm supposed to explain that to you.
Yeah.
I'm following orders. That ain't gonna work. So I mean, the long story short, I don't see a positive. I think it's something they're doing. I think they're just trying to perfect their craft.
Yeah.
So when they go in, they can do it again
It's a
and
trial
create more
run, huh?
division. Yeah, and create more division as usual.
Well, the positive part that Keith was asking about was, it depends on what the scope of it is, what the setup is. If you got the National Guard military coming in to work with the people, I mean, literally work with the people in the government of that city or that state, then people will say, okay, we can stomach it a little bit. But when you have the occupier coming in specifically saying, bust some heads, do whatever you got to do, that turns people's stomach, okay? Because again, National Guard, them people can only do that for 30 days, unless somebody could correct me. These guys are lawyers, doctors, baseball players, us, whoever, that are citizen soldiers that they cannot deploy no more than 30 days unless it's a national emergency is trying to get authorized, which old boy trying to do. So these people want to go back home so they don't lose their jobs. So what are they gonna do? Whatever you tell them to do, so I can get up out of here, get back home, and get back to work in my family for the most part.
And thank you for saying that, because that's the other part. Think about who it is who can declare it being a state of emergency.
The governor.
Yeah.
Of that state, but the occupier for the District of Columbia only, and whatever he's trying to do.
Yeah.
Stacey, you're the closest to this whole situation. They hadn't done this yet, but what are your concerns? I mean, having the military background, and also being a productive citizen in your city. What is your concern, if any?
Well, first of all, there's some pros and cons. I think the overarching thing that people on the outside looking in feel as though that the additional manpower is going to be beneficial in a large city like Chicago, with situations when local police are overwhelmed. So I can see that aspect, but when you start talking about rapid deployment, you know, that capability when federal resources are delayed or insufficient, I can see that aspect. But the dual training, while primarily military guard units receive some civil support training, they have no training on urban warfare when it comes to the city and so on and so forth, like what we're dealing with Chicago. They're not going to put them boys in Inglewood because Inglewood will run them right about it. And remember, they bringing in National Guard from other states. They're not using local National Guards from the state of Illinois, from Chicago, so on and so forth, because that's the governor's jurisdiction. And so those individuals are coming from Texas and coming from the other place. So you guys have to also consider all they're hearing is all this negativity about Chicago. So they're already scared coming to the city, right? And then you have the president that has allowed them to carry weapons and loaded weapons at that. The average age of these individuals are 18 to 25 years old, and they're weekend warriors, right? So when you look at the totality, it can blow up real easy. The same way some of this ICE stuff is blowing up. They picked up a lady, and I'm getting back on task, but they picked up a lady today that worked at Tamale Stand for about 25 years. Outside the police department in the area, snatched her up, and she gone now. No history of anything, but her coming to the country. And they're picking up people that have been doing everything that the government has asked them to do: check in, do your paperwork, so on and so forth, and they still getting snatched up. You know what I'm saying? But the topic is the National Guard tonight. I just think that you have to be really careful. The limited law, when you start talking about enforcement training, most guards members lack specialized police training and experience. That's major in a city like Chicago, man. Because being able to de-escalate a situation, you know, in the military, they teach you how to enforce certain things, right? Not necessarily de-escalate, but we want you to enforce it and take over the situation. If you come in Chicago with that kind of mindset, it's going to be some hell breaking loose. That's my thought.
Exactly.
So really, truly, and I'm just saying this, the military is trained to actually be occupiers, to go in and do one thing, and that's flex.
Right. Because they're trained, Keith, to emphasize force and compliance.
Yeah.
Follow orders.
Yep. That's what it is. So which can escalate rather quickly, or as opposed to de-escalating civilian encounters.
Yeah.
And when you take your oath of office, it says when you join the military, it says foreign and domestic, and that's what the occupiers getting hung up on.
Exactly. Jaquari, so what is your take?
Well, I agree with Stacy. You got it. I wonder if anybody's considered the fact that a lot of stuff that's happening in the areas that these guys are going to be going to in Chicago. I mean, a lot of those places are hot, and it's warfare. It's warfare. It might be over. It might be over. Particular corners or commodities or whatever, but it's warfare. These young guys are used to firing at each other. What's going to happen? God forbid, if that scenario comes about, you're going to have American citizens firing on American citizens. Which brings me, to my main point. I mean, I think the National Guard, people in the National Guard are going to be faced to truly kind of decide what patriotism is. I mean, are they going to follow orders, or are they going to see their American brothers and sisters on the other side of those barrels?
If I may just, because this is a phenomenal conversation. But when you talk about the president who has limited direct authority over local police, right? And so the federal government cannot directly command police officers or police departments to do whatever they want them to do. Now, the governor has the ability, when you start going to governor and the mayor, so on and so forth. I think, as a brother said earlier, if you have some of those National Guards working in conjunction with the police, where they're undermanned in certain areas, and they're riding with those guys and they're getting some additional training, then some of that stuff may very well work to a certain degree. But if the police, the local police department is not working together with the National Guard, it's going to be a problem, because there's been some conversation where they're saying, listen, we didn't ask them to come here like that. We're not working with them at all. That's what's happening with ICE as well. The local police are not assisting them at all. When they call and tell them, we need some help, they're like, we don't have nothing to do with that.
Yes.
Yeah.
We've seen that in law
And look at
enforcement.
this. And look at this also. These guys, they got their faces covered up. So you don't know who they are, where they come from. They could be from Alaska, ICE agents. Local cops don't do that unless it's special operations. So their faces all over. And they got to stay and live in their city, in their communities, and go home at night. So I agree with you, Stacey. It's a mess. I want to say one thing if I could. This is a little bit of a side note. President Obama deported 275 million people in 8 years. And we never had this kind of problem. He did the worst of the worst, all this and that, but he wasn't grandstanding. He wasn't making a show of it. He was doing his job. This is all one person. And and our Senate or our Congress, unfortunately, will not stand up to this individual. And yes, you're right, Spoke. Something gonna happen. It's gonna happen. You got young men that live in, what do you call it? West Garfield, Washington Park. Stacey, it's been a long time for me. Grand Crossing, Inglewood. You shoot it down, one of them young boys, 17, 18, he might shoot it, and then it's going to be a bloodbath, because the National Guard military's got 50 caliber machine guns, grenade launchers. How are you going to put that through the news media? Say, oops, it's just a blue city that's out of control? Think about that.
Well,
If you look at some of these videos with some of these YNs, as they call them nowadays, they have some major arsenals, bro. You know what I'm saying? So they not popping off no 45 caliber, no sir. They got 100 clips, and so you don't want to start that kind of. As a matter of fact, some of their initial firepower is a lot more than National Guard's M16.
yes.
For sure. That's right.
And
right.
a lot of them are military trained. They're prior military. A lot of them are prior military.
So the one thing that I want us to really emphasize is, yes, the humanity in me, and then Damon, if you have anything to offer, please give us blessings. But the humanity in me, I worry about, like Stacey said, the folks being deported. I worry about it, right? But what I'm not going to do, this is what me personally, is mix the two.
Is what? Say it again. You're not going to do what?
Mix the two up.
Oh,
Okay.
They don't go hand in hand to me. And I'm not trying to be standoffish or us against them. What I'm saying to you is that is a big part of conditioning. Where when you say the young guy, right? When you speak about the young guys in Chicago, that small percentage of Hellraisers is doing what they're doing, right? But if you talk about, hey, this Stacey's from Chicago, what's the first, because of conditioning, what's the first thing that pops in your mind? If you didn't know Stacey and DJ, if you didn't know these two men, what was the first thing that popped in your mind? You think about the young guy, pistol pop. You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
And that's conditioning that our 60 plus years of experience, we have been exposed to that. So what I try to do, and we'll talk about ICE later on in this podcast, but I want to concentrate on the black, right? And I got a couple bullet points I want to get you guys' opinion about. So Damon, you're the last one on this subject. What do you think?
Here's my thing, and this is why I wanted to talk to these guys who state, because he actually in that would be in that situation. DJ from there, you know what I'm saying? Keith, military, all ex-military. My concern is this. First of all, I think it's an intimidation factor. You know what I'm saying? Sending those troops in there to police or whatever they're going to do. First of all, they took away funding from the police. So how many, so they don't have the local police on staff because the funding wasn't there, number one. And number two, my main concern is they're going to implement a curfew, right? That's when you start dealing with your regular citizens, people who are just out and about doing things, because Chicago is a lively city. People are out and about living life and doing things. How many of those people are going to be harassed, man? In the name of, hey, there's a curfew here. You know what I'm saying? So how many innocent people do you guys think is going to be affected by that? You know what I'm saying? Just living everyday lives. Because
no law-abiding citizen like us is going to say, man, it might be a good thing. But, last time I checked, I'm old school Chicago, the Loop was getting overran by these YNs or these gang members or whatever you want to call them, and some other areas. So there are those in Chicago that say, you know what? It might not be a bad idea to ride down by Soldier Field, by the museums, and all that kind of stuff, and the Loop cleared it out in Chicago at nighttime, blah, 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 so people can be, can go down there and have a good old time. But the problem is, if they only stay 30 days, then what's going to happen after 30 days? Stacey, you tell me, what's going to happen to the Loop when the National Guard leave after 30 days? What's going to happen to them young boys after 30 days?
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. We have to know, when you think about, like I've been in the military, whenever I was relieved, someone was coming in to relieve me. You know what I'm saying? So it would never be a situation where they would not have the resources. When I leave, the next group is coming in, to pick up and patrol that particular area. I think the biggest challenge is just making sure people are operating on the same page. If the local police are not on the same page as the National Guards, you got plainclothes individuals. How do you know they're not running into some plainclothes individuals? It's so much stuff that can go on, man, that's not accounted for. That's all.
But are they going to occupy long term? That's what I'm saying. Past the 30 days. That's what I was saying, as far as if they just leave. If Trump says, okay, get out of Chicago, get out of DC, get out of Memphis, then Chicago police going to be left right back where they at.
They are going to leave because what he's doing is saying, my opinion.
Not necessarily, because...
No, listen to what I'm saying. Let me just finish it. Let me finish this. Look.
No, not to cut you off, Keith, but there is still a presence in DC.
Yeah,
but listen, he has control. Who said that earlier? He has control over DC.
right.
The governors have control over their state, so he can keep them there. You know what I'm saying? So, since we're talking about it, Jaquari, you got a taste of this because you live in the DC area. Were they in the hot spots in DC?
As far as I could tell, they were. Because I don't go to DC. That's I've been there.
But you get the news there, though.
Yeah.
You don't go there, bro.
No, it ain't nothing wrong with the city. Don't get me wrong. It's just, you got just city stuff you got to deal with. I don't want to deal with. But they on the news, they showed them outside, outside the White House, downtown, having ice cream and shit, and just like, and
a show of presence. He's flexing his muscle is what he's doing. He's threatening to do it to Memphis. He's threatening to do it to Chicago. You know what I'm saying? Because you got to think about it. The sensationalized cities are like Chicago, are like Memphis. You know what I'm saying? And look, no, like I said, what I'm going to do, I'm going to stay on this even kill. I'm balancing myself. So anybody else has anything to contribute to this before we move on?
I mean, the only thing. Oh, go ahead, cuz. Go ahead. Blue, go ahead.
Go ahead, cuz you there, man. So I'm here to listen to you.
The only thing I would say, man, is that this clown that's in office, everything is theater for him.
Exactly.
Everything is theater. So, and what I simply mean by that is everything is about a photo op. Everything is about me, and just staying on to that. That's all this is about. Because prior to him being elected again, everybody was against him. These democratic cities, he's trying to make a statement. You talking about the three largest cities when you start talking about what? LA, Chicago, and New York, right? Yeah. And those are the areas that he's been concentrating on. And now just recently heard him talking about going to Memphis, but the majority of those red states that have the highest crime rates per capita, he hadn't even been talking about going there. If you really are genuine about what you're talking about, then start in those areas that really, really thoroughly need it, as opposed to going to these areas where you feel like African-American leadership is the issue. And so you want to have some show of force because you're just trying to let people know that you're the man and you can do it because you say you can do it. So that's what makes people not really want to buy into it, because if you were really on that and about that life, I could probably say, okay, you went there first and we seen some results because you went where there was really some serious crime going on. And now you bringing it here, but that's not what he's doing. It's all about the theater.
That's right.
Right. Great point. Great point.
I wanted to point out also that I thought, maybe, well, the whole thing is, I believe, in not just Chicago, other major cities, what I think was going on, it's like how much we gonna shake everything up, make it chaotic, and then we're gonna put it back together like we want to. The parts, places where we want. What is it? Gentrification? Maybe something like, I don't know. But anyway, just because take Chicago. From what I read years ago, that the expensive area up there right off the lake. Off the lakefront, all that area up there. That's
I'm on South Shore.
Yeah, up in there. That was us. Then at some point in time, our folks had it. Black folks up there black folks up there, and all of a sudden, by some miracle, they got moved out. So I mean, I just think it's a way. They've done it before. Anytime they want to clean up like a hot spot, and somehow by coincidence, all the hot spots always have to be where our folks at. But we always in the hot spot. But anytime they want a hot spot, they found another way to do it without bringing in troops.
See,
now they ain't got but 4 years to work. They got 4 years to get it done.
Well, maybe.
Because this dude ain't gonna.
I'll tell you what he gonna do.
We're gonna do all we can do right now.
Yeah, this is my thing, man. Okay. Why didn't like the what color is the Republicans is blue, right?
Red.
Okay. All those red southern states with opioid and meth epidemics. Why he don't send them there to like, dismantle those labs and everything? We're not making shit in our neighborhoods in Chicago and DC. They're manufacturing drugs there, and it is an epidemic, and it's killing people in those areas of the country who voted for him. So why he ain't sending the National Guard there to police those meth labs and shit?
Let me answer that. To answer your question, you did it yourself. You said one key word. Epidemic. When it was in our neighborhoods, it's a war on drugs. When it's in their neighborhood with meth and all of that. And this is not being, this is no racial thing. This is law enforcement experience. When Oxycontin snuck up on the housewives and everybody and they became addicted to heroin through what is it? Advertising, right? It became an epidemic. But when we were facing the crack and heroin, it's a war on drugs. It's the wording. Just to answer your question, Jaquan. Anybody else, Keith, DJ?
So
No,
I look at the four border states, right? California, New Mexico, Arizona, Texas. Well, if you exclude California, which is blue, right? That's blue. You got Arizona, New Mexico, and Texas, all red states. All of them voted for Trump. And you know how that joker is down in Texas. What's it, Abbott? I mean, so really, if you want to flood somewhere, you got Houston, which is the fourth biggest city. You got Dallas, which is number 8. Okay. You got Phoenix, Albuquerque. You got plenty of places to go and send the National Guard. So again, you're exactly right. It is the occupier sending it, specifically, I think, picking on black and brown cities and leadership, governors and mayors and that kind of thing.
Because it's the easy thing to do. Anybody else?
So did you brothers see the documentary on Katrina?
I did.
I've
never
seen a
it.
couple of them. I've seen a couple of them. I haven't seen the latest one.
You talking with Spike Lee?
Yeah, that joint. When the National Guard came in, if you haven't checked that out, man, that brother Andre, the General Andre, thank God that he was there during that particular situation. Some of the footage that they showed, man, they showed that brother coming in saying, get them goddamn weapons down. Stop pointing them weapons at these people. They haven't done anything. I mean, it was crazy, man, because they were pointing them weapons at them folks, man. It was crazy because they didn't have the training. This is what we're talking about. You know, now it's a natural disaster. This really what they're supposed to be about, but they still they scared of black folks, and so you want them to come in and police black. You can't police somebody you're scared of. That's why they talk. And you, Keith, you know it as an officer when you see some of them Caucasian guys in our communities, and they trigger happy because they scared of African American people. So, but if you have not checked out that 9/11 Katrina, man, it was heart riveting, bro. Yeah,
it was rough.
That's it.
I think you gotta think about it when Baby Bush said refugees. See, whether it was a slip of the tongue or not, because of our nation's conditioning, it did not see those poor human beings as American citizens because it said refugees. You understand what I'm saying? Now he could have been call them refugees because they were transplanting them in all over the state, all over the United States. But that's still the wrong word. You feel what I'm saying? All right, well, look. So let's give our opinions about the possible effect on the black community. Then let me set this up to say that the majority of us, right? The majority of us in this country, we work for a living. We have families. We lead lives that is not pristine, but we follow the law in our community, right? But what we're looked at because of the way we're being depicted, right? It's always been a smear campaign ever since slavery. You know what I mean? Not trying to bring it back there, but my point is when it comes to our community, right? So some of the things that I thought about and just looked about it, right? Said, if they put them in the hot spot, the National Guard, black folks, to me, I'm gonna name a couple things, will feel like they're occupied. They're being occupied because somebody said it earlier. These National Guardsmen are from other states. They don't know the citizens in those hotspots. Now, you know, those hotspots is like maybe 3 streets.
Correct.
You understand what I'm saying to you? See, this is what most people don't get. And Stacy and DJ, you can speak on this. There's certain blocks that most of the gang violence are on. The majority of the gang violence is on. You feel what I'm saying? But it's depicted that it's in every black area. You know what I'm saying? Another thing I thought about is, you know, it's a risk of a deadly encounter, right? And we can elaborate on that a little bit. Deadly encounter. Another thing was criminalizing the black identity, which is a good thing, a good point, right? And we'll stop right there. I got a couple more, but we'll stop right there. Damon.
What I think about the whole,
take us into this. What I just talked about, because this is affecting what we feel affects the black community in Chicago or anywhere.
The one thing that you said that stood out to me mostly is that it's all about propaganda. You know what I'm saying? The words that they speak. They're saying that the black community is out of problem. You know what I'm saying? We are 14% of this country. But for some reason, they want to go up, throw out statistics that don't even make sense. You know what I'm saying? I was listening to this cat. I'm not even gonna mention his name. We're giving him the you know what I'm saying, the satisfaction. But he said African Americans are 14%. No, he said 12% of which was wrong. 12% of the population of the United States, and they are responsible for 55% of the murders.
That's a lie.
If you look at the numbers of the people, you know what I'm saying? That means that it's not in the neighborhoods and the places that they live. That means that these people are branching out all over the country to be able to commit that type of criminality. You know what I'm saying? But by virtue of the numbers, and it makes sense, that it doesn't make any sense. So there's this narrative that they're throwing out. Man, these people are a problem. Matter of fact, when Trump first started talking about Chicago, what came out of his mouth was that he said these people are born bad. You know what I'm saying? They have no souls, and they are, and I'm paraphrasing, but he said, but I'm on point when he said they are born bad and they have no souls. So he's trying to desensitize people if they do happen to go into Chicago or Memphis, whatever, and whatever happens to be it the so-called gangbangers or the innocent people, it doesn't matter because they have no soul.
Let me interrupt right there for just 1 second. Damon, just 1 second. I'm going to give you something. I want everybody to think about this for a minute. Who is from Chicago that Trump hates the most in the whole wide world? Think about that. Who? What man? What man?
Obama.
There you go. Right there. Come on now. Come on with it. Go ahead. Finish up.
Yeah, but my point is,
our homeboy.
My point is, when they called him a fascist and using Hitler's speech and all that stuff, it's like, man, that's offensive to him, and that would cause people to want to take his life and all this stuff. But what they're not thinking about is what he said. When you say we're going to go to Chicago next because they need help there because those people have no souls. Those people are born bad. So no matter what happens when we go there, no matter what we do to them, understand that they're not even worth considering. You know what I'm saying? How he just described them. How he just described them is basically telling the whole country, they bad, man. They deserve whatever they get because they have no souls and they were born that way. But his feelings are hurt when he's called a fascist. You know what I'm saying? And they want to cancel people and get people to lose their jobs and all that stuff. You know what I'm saying? Make it make sense. This is a situation where they already did their little trial runs and shit. Now it's all about the propaganda. Now it's all about convincing people, hey, you know what? They deserve whatever the hell they get because they're not human. They're soulless. They're born that way. So they get what they're coming to. I mean, they get what's coming to them.
Okay.
So when I think about that, I'm like, the speech, you know what I'm saying? People are believing that bullshit, man. They're believing, man, these people have no soul. So, this is good against evil.
Hey, Damon, honestly, that's always been the rhetoric. It's just he is louder with it now. He is more bolder with it in his speeches. You know what I'm saying? That's my opinion. Chief, the bullet point, feeling occupied, risk of deadly misunderstanding. The criminalization of the black identity. What is your opinion about it? Did we lose you, Keith?
Yeah, I keep going out too.
DJ, what about you, brother? What about you?
Again, Marine, you got to tell me twice sometimes. The bullets don't be firing on full go all the time. Go ahead, tell me that again.
Hold on. Hey, Chief, did you get what I asked?
No, I didn't. Say that again. I don't know.
No. The bullet points that Damon just responded to. Feeling occupied. I'm talking about the black community, the possibility. Feeling occupied, risk of deadly encounters, and the criminalization of the black identity. What is your opinion about it?
For the black identity?
I'm talking about the National Guards going into Chicago.
Right.
Black identity meaning me, you, like seeing us as criminals and don't even know anything about it.
Okay. Well, it just I'm still where I was earlier. It's I'm talking. What I say is usually is what I say is it's always a deeper purpose. It's a deeper meaning when they do stuff. They don't just do it to be doing stuff. So, and I think the deeper meaning is see what it makes us look like. We got to send people in to get these people under control. And at the same time, we the same people right here, like when they first started that, they made comments saying that we black people not participating in the marches for to stop deportations and all this other stuff.
Yeah.
That we been silent. We ain't getting in it, so to speak. Now they bringing this in, and it's a way to agitate because our community, and I consider the Hispanic people, I consider us all the same people, in my opinion. But so if you bothering with them, we so closely knitted, you bothering with us too. And at some point in time, it's painting a broad picture. It's saying, well, these Hispanics and these black people, we're sending people in because these are the hot spots. We're going in there and we're going to help, clean this up and everything.
And I don't like the fact that it's painting us as being something we're not, savages or troublemakers. We're no different than anybody else. We're the smallest percentage, number-wise. We're the smallest group of people, but we causing the most problems, so to speak. So I guess the short answer to the question is, I see it as a way to paint a target on us. To paint the target on us. Because when it all comes down at the end, it's going to be us taking the hit.
They can't deport us.
Well,
So
Right.
All right, well, it's on you then, DJ.
so
Bullet points, occupying Chicago, the black perspective. Feeling occupied, the feeling of being occupied, the risk of a deadly encounter, and the criminalization of the community.
So I don't think the people of Chicago, me personally, I don't feel they don't feel there's a threat right now of being occupied by anybody because they're not there yet. They're talking about it. So I don't think that fear necessarily is there yet running rampant throughout the community. I'm just speaking in broad terms. You know what I'm saying? Because when you haven't seen anything, you know, and that goes back to what Keith Barnes just said. When you're trying to, or you want to drag people into your chaos, but they're standing on the sideline going, yo, we had ours with George Floyd. We had ours with Breonna Taylor. We already know what the fuck it feels like. Excuse me, I'm a war fighter. We already know we've been there. Just leave us alone, man.
Yeah.
Then you have those that say, no, we're going to go in there, we're going to picket y'all. We're going to make it like that because it's a permanent thing. I want to keep y'all on the forefront. You know, I don't want people thinking about Epstein. I don't want people thinking about the big ugly bill, whatever you want to call it, these things like that. I'm going to come at y'all as a military man. What about our kids, our grandkids that want to go in the military and all they hearing is how screwed up and how crazy and killers the National Guard and the military are. And taxpayers are saying, wait a minute, we paying our money. You're going to send these dudes here when we paying our taxpayer money to occupy our homeland, our cities? Nah, they ain't feeling that. So I think with that right there, I don't think there's a threat at this point. It could happen, but I don't think there's a threat right now. For that's just me speaking. On the other end, on the other aspect, which you asked that question was, well, what are we going to do to prepare ourselves? Seriously, just continue living your best life every day, following the law of the land, you know, doing what you got to do, and then let it lay what it lay, because you can't change anything that hasn't happened. And if you do I tell kids this all the time, and I say kids, I mean teenagers and young people, when you get pulled over, just follow the law. You know, you can get the badge number and the IDs and all that, but for the most part, to keep yourself from going in a situation that you can't get the advantage of or can't get out of, just be your best self. Just be you. And that's the only thing I can say.
And I've been on that part, just that part, I've been telling our people, especially young people, I said, when you get your car, man, I said, well, you driving a car, you need to tell your parents to have their, what I call their traffic stop kit. Get your get your registration and insurance and stuff. Keep it right together. Don't put it in the glove box. Put it over the sun visor or somewhere like that.
That's right.
Where you can just reach and grab it. So when you got your license, you grab your license, and that's right there. You ain't got to reach for nothing.
Correct.
But there's, you know, we never had to stop teaching and reminding each other how to survive.
That's right. That's right. Right there.
We've never had to stop teaching. I listen to us just on the podcast when I'm listening to you all talking about growing up in Michigan and stuff like this, and the lessons you learned and stuff that your parents had told you and stuff, and all of it was survival tips.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And here's the thing. Hold on for a second, Damon. I want to get everybody a chance to speak. Stacey, you're up. Jaquari, did you
Did you get a chance?
No, he didn't respond.
Okay, so Stacy, you can go and then Jaquari, then you.
You have to list each question by itself. I'm multitasking over here, if you know what I mean, fam.
I
You know
got
what I
you.
do.
I got
So what was the first question?
It's feeling. This is the bullet points. Feeling of occupation. I'm talking about if the National Guard went to Chicago, the risk of a deadly encounter, and also the criminalization of our community. Whether what is your what do you see that as? What's your
So
opinion about it?
I heard the other gentleman, the tail end of him saying that he didn't know if Chicago was really, he didn't think they was really kind of feeling the potential presence of the National Guard. And that would be contrary. I mean, they've been protests about them not coming here. It's been so many meetings and people dealing with the local council members and all that kind of stuff. It's really been a big thing here.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah. Nobody wants to feel like they're being policed by the National Guard, because the bigger picture that I don't know if we've even thinking about, if you allow this, what's next?
Yes.
What's next? And so it's a major concern, and people are on the edge of their seats because the clown that's in office is throwing so much stuff at the wall just to keep all the attention off everything that he's dealing with, all the business deals that he's doing to enrich his family. It's all theatrics. So that's my answer to the first question. Keith, what's the second question again?
Really and truly, risk of the deadly encounter.
Deadly encounter with the National Guard. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah.
Well, I hope it never comes to that, but I believe that the Orange Man wants that to happen so he can try to spin that on this is why we went there. They're animals,
Exactly.
they're this, they're that.
Yeah.
So
Great
again, it's all being orchestrated. The puppet master type situation is going on. So he wants something to happen. And so I hope and pray that it does not. But I don't even know how to call it, guys. It can go 50-50 either way. People are talking to some of the young folks in the community, trying to talk to them about what to do if that should happen. But as you guys were talking about what we tell our children, how we tell them to act when they're pulled over, it's been so many brothers and sisters that have been harmed doing the right thing. I don't know what to tell them nowadays. You know what I'm saying? But you still want to start with, I agree with you, have your ID over your visor, have your all that stuff right there. But if you have a person that's already scared of the Black community, all the stuff he's saying does not live in the community, man, it could go left real quick. That's my thought.
Right.
That's right.
Right.
Jaquari, did you need the bullet points or what?
No, I'm good.
Okay.
Well, in regards to the occupation, man, I might be stretching, fellas, but in some aspect, I believe that Chicagoans to a certain extent were already occupied. I mean, look at, and these were people's homes. These were people's homes, and I'm not casting any kind of negative light on where people live or how people live or anything like that. But I mean, we seen the occupation of Chicago every time we watched the beginning of Good Times. I mean, you see the buildings or whatever, they look like penitentiary tiers, didn't they?
Yeah.
Okay, so that was a form of conditioning right there. I truly think if anybody is prepared to withstand this storm, it's going to be the people of the city of Chicago. I mean, they're used to in some cases direct aggression from the powers that be. Because like I said, for decades, Ida B. Wells, Cabrini Green, whatever, were there, and that's how they contained us. But then what did they do? They tore those buildings down and scattered us to the winds. You know, so I mean, there's that aspect, and the threat of violence. Keith, you touched on it a little while ago about the size of the particular area that the violence occurs in. It's not everywhere, so you don't have to have a military presence on the Gold Coast. You don't have to do that.
Mhm.
You know, but more than likely it will happen. You know, I
Okay.
mean, it's a pissing contest, man. I mean, and right now, the red dude got the bigger dick.
Mhm.
Yeah.
My my concern.
Dildo. But go ahead, Jaquan.
And
He said dildo.
another thing that concerns me, man. Another thing that concerns
That was
me
funny.
is our non-participation in you know the black community's non-participation in what's going on and everything, you know, which I think we nationally we've done a pretty good job of you know, just sitting back and seeing what's happening. I think the time for that is ended. It's ended because what's
I
going to
agree with
happen
that.
is everybody else, you know, especially the people who snaked us and then, you know, criticize us for staying out of their bullshit. So it's only going to give them cause to further alienate us.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So at some point, you know,
Because
yeah, that's
yeah, you hit that right on the head. Because that's we gonna be in it anyway.
we're going to be in it.
We
Yeah.
gonna be in it anyway.
Hey,
So-
hey, Spoke said something when he talked about the area, the smaller area. We're talking about the Inglewood and some of those areas. But man, look, if the National Guard come here, they're gonna be downtown. Them Caucasian folks only worried about the shopping, guys. Stop playing.
Yeah.
That's where. And listen, they could care less on brothers and sisters killing folks in the hood. They've never. But one of the biggest travesties here in Chicago, man, and you got to do a show on this at some point, Keith, is that when you talk about a Democratic state, black mayor, all the council members are brown and black, and you're not seeing the change that you need to see. It's like, like, what's the problem? You know what I'm saying? Man, some of these schools, if you see some of these schools, bro, they still got booked from 1960
Right.
in these schools that these kids are using.
Well,
When I
it's
had
gonna
my
get
nephew,
worse now.
well, when I
It's
had
gonna
my
get worse.
nephew here, when Dominique was here with me, and I took him to the public schools of my area, I ended up letting him go to Catholic school. I could not believe what I was seeing, guys.
Yeah.
It was unbelievable, and they're not doing anything about these. So we should be ashamed of ourselves as the black leadership in these states. When you're talking about a black mayor, vice mayor, assistant, all your council members and aldermen are black. And man, they just getting fat, and the city is still just getting bled. Chicago is the most crookedest city in the country. Chicago, man, you don't have more governors that's been prosecuted and kicked out of office and went to prison than any other state.
Yeah, true that.
Damon, you wanted to say something, man, but I wanted everybody to get their taste. But go ahead. And I have something I want to add just to piggyback off of Stacy. But go ahead.
Well, the point I was going to make is that you know, Chicago is one of those major cities that's, you know, got a lot of, like Stacey described, got a lot of black influence or whatever, you know, people in power and all that stuff, and it's still the same. But at some point in time, I think, just like today, my son took off, right? Just go on the leisure, whatever, go to the store, whatever. And I was constantly calling him. Where you at, man? You know, and my point is, it is crazy as hell to realize, because I talked to two elderly men I said, have you ever seen it like this? And these are cats that grew up in the 50s and 60s. I said, have you ever seen it this bad? And they was like, no, because people are being so tribal, man. Look, you think about this, fellas. Since Trump got in office, all the things that happened, black people wasn't involved. But somehow we're on the forefront of everything. You know what I'm saying? We're on the forefront of everything, of what they think this country is suffering from or whatever. What is their goal? What's their end goal? You know what I'm saying? What is they trying to express to people other than us in this country? You had people you had people who betrayed us during the election. Now shit is happening to them, and we're saying, look, man, we just gonna stay out of it because y'all wasn't with us. Y'all took power from us. We can't do nothing for y'all. We have sympathy because if you think about it, no matter what happened to black people in this country, we've always been forgiving and sympathetic to others. We've always been that. But during this trial and this time right now that's happening in this country, we push forward, we push to the front. And we're not even involved in it. Not for the last 8 months, we haven't been marching or doing anything. You know what I'm saying? But they're attacking us. Hey, man, we need to get this country under control because these blacks are out of control. 40% of the country, we out of control. So that's where the main focus is going to be. And it's like, dude, we're not even doing shit. So what is the real agenda here? You know? So I'm saying, when my son leave the house, he got to tell me where the hell he's going. You know what I'm saying? He has to take on that responsibility. Hey, Dad, Mom, I'm headed in this direction. This is where I'm going to be at. And my phone is going to always be turned on. We are at that state in this country right now. And we're not even in the fray. That's crazy as hell to me, man.
Good point. So
they're gonna put troops on O Block.
Hey,
so listen, no,
hey,
hold on.
That's gonna
hey,
happen.
O Block Muslim now.
No.
That's gonna happen.
Listen, man. Listen. Here's my thing. I have to be fair. Everybody made great positive points today. But the one thing, and my topic purposely steered away from it because I wanted you guys to give me exactly how you felt about this thing. But what do we do about the crime in our community? And I'm talking about nationwide, Chicago, wherever. Like, I'm not saying that you guys have the quick fix, the perfect fix, or anything like that. But when we talk about these things, and here's my question: when we talk about these things, right, what we discussed today, and we'll start with you, Jaquari, do we take in consideration that there is a lot of crime in DC? There is a lot of crime. I'm talking about violent crime across this country. And the reason why the term black on black crime pisses me off more than anything because it's proximity. A black man who has murderous intent lives around black people. So if he got a problem with somebody, it's gonna be a black guy, right? Well, it's the same thing with a white guy. Same thing with a white guy. But you ever hear white on white crime? And it's more of their crime. But just getting back to it, when we talk about these things, do you, Jaquari, do you consider that in some places it is a high crime rate?
Absolutely. And I think one of the things that we could do to remedy that, man, is to encourage our young folks, man, to go into law enforcement the right way. When I was growing up, you know, in Ypsilanti, rarely I mean, they were there. There were some there, but rarely did I know a police officer who had grown up in the community. It was rare.
Got
It's some things that you had to be on top of, corruption and freaking human nature basically or whatever. But with proper training and a good look at the bigger picture, a policing force that is born and bred and raised in that community, in its own community, I think would do a lot of good.
I agree with that.
I agree with that also.
I've been saying that for the longest. Community police, true community policing, recruit right out of that area and let them work their area.
Yeah.
Hey, this is a sidebar. Kevon, do you Key, what elementary school did you go to?
Dude, I went to a lot of them, man.
Yeah,
Detroit, Henry Ford in Detroit. Henry Ford Elementary. Then went to Chapel for 1 year.
Okay.
And then when we moved back to Ipsy, we moved to Belleville. So we went to Rossville Elementary.
Yeah. Gentlemen, I just had that question. I just had, a flashback on you guys were talking about police officers. And I remember at Perry Elementary School that the local policemen, someone were Black, would come up to the school, right? And build some of those relationships with the youth. Yeah, man, just some of those basic things, man. So I didn't fear the police at that time. As we got older, how that go, we in the car and be like, dude, don't look back, man. Do not, the police band, don't, it's always a brother look behind you and we getting pulled over. You know what I'm saying? So I just want to ask that question. That's all.
So growing up in Chicago in the 60s, we never even had the problem with. I grew up on LaSalle Street, right? Went to Simeon High School. Everybody heard of Simeon. And so we see a police car, I'm 8, 9 years old, we running, waving and running. And, we never even dealt with that kind of madness. So that's a new generation thing. When I say new, it started in the 90s, pretty much the late 80s, unless y'all can see some kind of difference, but it was never a thing. And it was always a fashion thing that, man, when I grow up, I'm going to be a doctor, I'm going to be a cop, I'm going to be in the military. And it was a good thing. But of course, what happens along the way, you get that 5 or 10% that does crazy stuff, man. And it started with, what was the cat in LA, man, that got beat to death almost?
Rodney King.
Rodney King. That just turned everything upside down, man. Just flipped the whole script. And this right now, the reason I mentioned that, this right now, what's going on with young African-American men and women going in the military, along with head stuff, is completely switching the script. Because for us, it was a way out. It was just like a way to get out and earn some money and get some kind of profession. Unless y'all think I'm wrong, it was like, I'm gonna do something myself. I'm gonna join the Marine Corps, the Army, or the Air Force.
Okay, so DJ.
Yes, sir.
You made a good point, but I want you to answer the question for me. When you talked about earlier, when you talked about what vexed you about sending the troops and all these different things, did you take in consideration the violence that is being portrayed in Chicago when you spoke on that?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. And the reason I said that is because it's going on in Washington Park and North, what is that? North Vondale and all that. All this is going on, and it's been going on. But guess what? When I mentioned that when he sends them in or whoever, they going downtown by the Loop and all these used to be all current affluent areas. They're not going into the so-called hood, man. If you look at DC, they send the National Guard around the museums because the occupiers saw some homeless people laying by the museums, sleeping. He just sent them into Anacostia and them other places, man. He put them down in the subways, so it makes people feel that they safe. So you're right. My man was saying they ain't that he could care less about. All he wants to do is put a spin on everything and think he's in control. So people are, that's why I said people are really not. I know they are worried, but I don't think for the most part they see it happening until it happens. That's just my opinion.
But
Will
see,
it ever
this
happen? Who knows?
this is why you got to vet your politicians, man. This is why you got to vet them, because if you think about Trump, right? You know, people that support him, I think they're more tribal than anything, because they feel like they lose or they're afraid, whatever the case may be. But in vetting a politician, you're going to put a person in the presidency. When I was born, he was 19 damn years old. You feel what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
He was 19 years old, so all his ideologies and everything about him is from the late 40s and 50s and shit.
All right.
You know what I'm saying? He has a segregationist mindset. That's why every time he addressed anybody black, he called them low IQ. And when he talked about the immigrants and the job situation, he was like, "Well, they're taking away black jobs." That's because that's how he sees the world, man. That's how we see the world.
Well, how do we? With that being said, how do we look at each other nowadays? Like, if I come up right now and say, "Would you vote for Jasmine Crockett to be president of the United States?" What are you gonna say? Don't even think about it. What you gonna say? Would you do it?
I absolutely would.
Okay.
I absolutely would. For this reason.
Hold on. Let me say, DJ, you asked that question, but you didn't take in consideration that some people have a little bit of chauvinism in them.
Okay, but Damon said vetting. Vetting means you checked him out, or whatever. This person is fantastic. Why can't I understand what you're saying, Keith? But why can't we put her in there? She got all the credentials.
No, it's true. I mean, I get it. I wasn't disagreeing with you. I just wanted to add that. But hold up, Keith. Let Damon finish, and then you, and then we're gonna close this thing off.
The reason why I would vote for her, because she's a fighter. You know what I'm saying? She's not dealing with the niceties of it. She's calling out the bullshit and holding them accountable for it. You know what I'm saying? Who's doing that? You know what I'm saying? I love the fact that we had our first black president, Barack Obama.
Yes.
But the 8 years that he was in office, I was looking for him to identify with my experience, and he never did it. He never did it. You know what I'm saying? Whether he lived it or not, he tried to embrace it when he was playing basketball and he was walking cool. He tried to embrace it in that aspect. You know what I'm saying? But in terms of saying, okay, you know what? 99% of the African American community voted for me. I need to address some of their issues. I don't care if you call it DUI, or whatever the case may be. I'm speaking for them because they were my largest constituency. You know what I'm saying? What the hell you think Trump doing? What is he doing?
He's looking out for his people. Damon,
exactly.
All right, DJ and
he already under death threat. You know what I'm saying?
Look, DJ and Keith, y'all, I heard y'all hoeing and humming. Did y'all want to say something?
Obama did the best he could, but keep in mind the Tea Party blocked him. He didn't have the Congress at the time. He didn't have the U.S. Senate.
When he first got DJ, not to cut you off, bro. When he first got in, he had the Congress and the Senate, man.
He did for 2 years. Let him finish, man. You're right. It's 2 years out of those first 4. He did, and he did a hell of a job. But the last 4, it blocked everything he did, man. His balls was against the wall, but he still got the Affordable Care Act. So he did, he could have done better, but I'll put my last dollar on Barack Hussein Obama. I'm
I got
going. We'll ride or die, baby. Yes, sir.
I got you. Keith, did you have something?
Well, on that part right there, I think Damon hit it. He hadn't. Barack Obama was a he's a melanated president.
Oh, come on, man.
Think about
Oh, damn.
it. Think about it.
All right, hey, DJ, let him finish. We'll discuss this once we get offline. But go ahead.
I understand, but the thing you got to keep it because they'll say he don't know our experience.
Not at all.
He's a Kenyan, man. He's an African brother. He's a Kenyan. We're not.
As a matter of fact, he's an Irish Kenyan.
Oh,
Hey, are you say, hey, can you say was he a tether?
He grew up, so he don't have our experience. I ain't taking it. He can do it and all that. You see, okay. The thing I'm gonna say this. Once you see what Trump is doing, he's in there and he's shaking stuff up. He just in there. Now, what Obama did do, those executive orders, he figured that out. Okay, I'm gonna throw out an executive order and I'm gonna speak to the public and say, I threw out this executive order to do X, Y, and Z because this is what I'm trying to do. And I'm gonna leave it up to the rest of these Congress and everybody else to get it done or not get it done. That was very intelligent. That's how he was getting stuff through. Trump's doing the same thing with executive orders. He throws stuff out there.
Yeah.
But this thing, as far as what he could have done, there was a lot of things that he could have done to just set us up in a position to where we could take advantage.
I just wanted a speech talking to black men. I wanted a speech talking to black men. I understood what he was up against, but I wanted you to speak to me. I saw him speak to the Arab nation, speak to the Spanish, speak to everybody else. But like I said, I'm gonna leave that alone. Finish real quick, and then we out here.
He didn't even speak to the grassroots thing that was happening with black women.
Don't say he couldn't.
He didn't even speak with that. He didn't see the grassroots aspect of that.
All right.
Continue on getting.
I shouldn't have said anything because this is another subject. So we get ready to get. Go ahead, Jaquan.
Before we hit the topic, though, man, I mean, I just wanted to just as a carrot, man, you know, as volatile a situation as the potential occupation of Chicago is, man, I do want us to remember as a whole that there are 4 sitting Supreme Court justices, including Clarence Thomas, who are constitutional traditionalists.
Yeah,
I want you to think about that because I've been hearing a lot of chatter about how the Constitution is only for white people. Now we deal in conspiracy theories and smoke screens all the time in this country. I want us as a community to understand that, you know, just because we can see what the right hand is doing, we have no idea what the left hand is doing.
6-3.
All right, Jaquari, we'll start with you. Last word. And then Stacy, then Keith, and then DJ. Then Fluke, you're going to finish it up.
Gentlemen, I've thoroughly enjoyed our conversation. I look forward to the next, and y'all be safe.
Amen. Stacy, last word. We'll come back to you.
I just clicked back in. You said last word?
Last word.
No, I think it was a great conversation tonight, gentlemen. You know, you guys tend to open up different conversations that you can have a whole evening about. You know what I'm saying? So, when you start talking about the Barack piece. But I think overall, we know there's some issues in our community, but I don't feel like the National Guard is the answer. I don't have the answer, but I know that's not the answer. We know why they're doing it, and we just have to keep our head on the swivel, just remain focused, and keep God first. That's it.
Amen.
That's my last word.
Keith, last word.
Yes, yes, I enjoyed you all as always, and appreciate you having me. And I want to say, that I don't believe, I ain't no to believe, National Guard is not the answer, and it's just I do believe it's a distraction for other stuff. It's a whole lot of information that's out there. A lot of things are being revealed now, and it's something else to keep us occupied. It's a big distraction, and it's going to be something good. So, everybody keep your head on the swivel. Look out for each other. We need to look out for each other as well as ourselves, and just be safe out here, man. I'm seeing it on the road as I'm driving the truck, and I'm going to these different states and stuff, and I'm watching people's body language. You're good at how they look pleasantly surprised, walk out the door, and you know me. I'm like, "Good morning, how you doing?" Or "How you doing, sir?" Because I'll do that. But I do it.
That's
Then.
deep.
I especially do it to us.
Yeah.
That's deep.
Yeah, and I do that, and I always see it's like a pressure relief. Because with me, I don't know what they see with the beard, the gray, and all of that. So when I go out to speak, it's like a pleasant, they relieved, and they kind of relax. But everybody is wound up, man. So y'all be careful out there.
DJ, last word.
Watch your money, your dollars and your cents. Be careful with it. Count it. All your IRAs, CDs, 401ks, whatever you got, watch it. Balance yourself. Watch your dollars and cents. Be careful with that. Watch what's coming in the mail, and just don't trust folks. Trust yourself, trust your family, and because I think they're coming for that next. I hate to say that, but the reason I say that is because they're taking away different things. But when they consolidated the Treasury Department, who's not to say that Black and brown people names at the top of the list? We're gonna take this from them, or we're gonna take that. Who knows? So yeah, just watch your money. I'm about taking care of mine. So let's go.
Damon, bring us on home.
My point is this, man. For me, as a black man in this country at this point in time, man, since Trump got in office with all this rhetoric and all that stuff, and people chiming in, being tribal and all that stuff, I think it is important for us to make sure that we continue to abstain, challenge these corporations like Target and now it's Disney and Hulu. Get that money, hurt them pockets and whatever. And on top of that, make sure that we recognize that black man who got lynched in Mississippi that didn't get any coverage. You know what I'm saying?
Two of them.
One of them was a white guy. He was homeless. But make sure that we stand on top of that stuff, and that's where our protest is. Our protest is affecting the commerce, the economy, and making sure that we recognize when harm that comes to any one of us, we recognize it and we bring voice to it. Okay. And we're minding our business.
All right, well, look. This is a Strong Perspective podcast. Bless us with going to our YouTube channel, like, share, and subscribe. Bless us by letting the people close to you know about our conversations here. We covered a wide range, and I got these gentlemen's opinion about what it meant in their eyes of National Guards going to Chicago. Then it branched off into more humanistic things, and I love that. But please go to our YouTube channel, like, share, and subscribe. This is Strong Perspective Podcast. Thank you, gentlemen. Outstanding job tonight, guys. Good night.